Imagine doing something that no one has ever attempted before, like dumping millions of tons of trash into a volcano, dropping phone cases down into the Mariana Trench, or even shooting all the world's plastic out into space. These ideas may sound far-fetched, but they raise an intriguing question. Where do these wild concepts come from? Well, just a few weeks ago, we turned to the What If community, asking where they thought we should dispose of the world's trash. And the responses did not disappoint. You guys came through with some truly outlandish ideas, and now we're excited to show you what these would look like in ways you've never seen before. But before we dive into the big, crazy concepts, we're going to conduct an experiment. We're about to drop something into molten glass that's been heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius, about as hot as lava. This experiment will give us an idea of what could happen if we threw our garbage into a real volcano. To kick things off, we used copper for this test. But if I were to toss something like my actual garbage or, say, my plastic phone case, the results wouldn't just be visually stunning, they'd be dangerous. The room would fill up with toxic fumes from the chemicals released by the burning plastic, and we'd likely suffocate. While this experiment was pretty exciting, it's just the beginning. What if we scaled it up and tried dumping a much larger amount of trash into an actual volcano? Well, we're about to find out with the help of our incredible video effects, VFX, team. Now, imagine this, you're standing there with your yearly trash output. No, not you personally, your trash. The amount of waste one person produces in a year. We're about to hurl all of that into a volcano. But wait, where's the volcano? Cue the VFX team. There it is. The lava inside this volcano is scorching at over 1,200 degrees Celsius. And in this scenario, we're dropping about 680 kilograms of trash into it. In case you're wondering how big that is, picture a polar bear, except this one is made entirely of garbage. Thanks again, VFX team. Now, if we were to drop that much waste into the volcano, we wouldn't just get a little puff of smoke. No, what you're looking at would be a massive explosion. The reason? The lava is extremely hot, while the trash we're throwing in is relatively cool. That difference in temperature would create a high-pressure reaction, causing acidic steam to erupt violently. The trash would hit the lava, and in no time, you'd see a plume of steam rising and spreading, showing just how dangerous it could be. But let's not stop there. We've got even more trash to dispose of. What if instead of just one person's trash, we scaled it up to an entire city's waste? Let me check in with Marina, our animator, to see how we can take this to the next level. The animation of one person's trash was great, but I'm thinking bigger, like 20 million people's worth of trash. That's right, we're talking about all the garbage produced by New York City in 1 year. We'll roll it all up into a giant ball and toss that into a volcano. Marina seems a little taken aback, but she's on board. For context, New York generates around 14 million tons of trash annually. Marina says she'll need a little time to figure it all out, but we've only got a few minutes left, so she's working fast. While she's crunching the numbers on New York's trash, let's head to the other side of the world. But before we get there, let's talk about why we're even doing this in the first place. The world has a serious trash problem. Plastic waste in the ocean, food waste piling up in landfills. It's all a lot bigger than most people realize. Our partners at Caseify have been working on solutions, but more on that later. For now, we wanted to challenge our community to come up with creative ways to deal with garbage. Everything from plastic packaging to food scraps and old phone cases. One suggestion really caught our eye. Hey Peter, what if we dumped all the trash in the ocean into the Mariana Trench? Well, that's an idea worth exploring. Over 14 million tons of trash end up in the ocean every year, which amounts to more than 8 trillion pieces of plastic. A significant chunk of this waste comes from old phone cases. Every year, over 1.5 billion phone cases are discarded, which is staggering. So, what if we gathered all those discarded cases and dumped them into the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench? Marina, our animator, has got this one covered. We're taking you down to a depth of 11,000 meters, all the way to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Being the deepest point on Earth, the trench seems like it could easily handle 1.5 billion phone cases, right? In theory, the trench could hold over 1 trillion phone cases. But there's a catch. The immense pressure at that depth would compress the phone cases smaller and smaller. The pressure at the bottom of the trench is so intense that it's comparable to having a tower of 2,000 elephants stacked on top of you. As the phone cases pile up, the environmental impact would be devastating. Toxic materials would leak into the water, killing marine life and destroying coral reefs. Not to mention, microplastics would seep into the ocean, causing long-term damage. Maybe dumping trash into the ocean isn't the best idea after all. But what about space? Could we send our trash into the vast, empty reaches of space? Specifically, what if we launched all of our plastic waste into the sun? Let's hold off on that for a second, though. Before we tackle the space option, let's check back in on that massive ball of trash we're getting ready to drop into the volcano. Oh, it's not ready yet? No worries. Let's talk about what we're going to do about all these discarded phone cases in the meantime. If you've ever had to throw out an old phone case, there's a better solution than just sending it to a landfill. Caseify, our partner, has the world's largest phone case recycling program. All you have to do is send them your old case, and they'll upcycle it into a brand new one. This not only creates a new product, but also keeps phone cases from piling up in landfills. Big shout out to Caseify for making this video possible and for helping to reduce waste. Plus, you get a new, stylish phone case out of it. How cool is that? Okay, back to our trash volcano experiment. It looks like our enormous pile of trash is finally ready to be tossed into the lava. This time, we're not just going to create a small explosion inside the volcano. This much trash is going to generate an eruption that shoots hundreds of meters into the air. The lava will flow, spreading destruction to nearby towns. And the pollution? Oh, the pollution. Without any kind of filtration system, dropping this much trash into molten lava would release a toxic cloud of fumes, spreading dangerous chemicals across the area. This is definitely not a good idea. That was a disaster, but we're not giving up yet. We've got another idea, one that's literally out of this world. We're going to see what would happen if we launched our trash into space and sent it hurtling towards the sun. Instead of dumping all our garbage, let's focus on plastic waste. Every year, around 40 million tons of plastic are discarded in the United States alone. So, what if we strapped all that plastic to rockets and blasted it into space, aiming straight for the sun? That might be the ultimate solution, right? Well, it's not that simple. For one, it would take about 1 million bags full of plastic trash to make up 40 million tons. To launch that much plastic into space, we'd need around 640,000 rockets. But here's the tricky part. Getting a rocket to hit the sun isn't as easy as it sounds. Because Earth orbits the sun at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, we'd have to slow the rockets down by the same speed to line them up with the sun's trajectory. Achieving that level of precision would be nearly impossible. So, instead of gracefully burning up in the sun, our plastic would likely end up floating through space forever, or worse, causing more space debris. Looks like these crazy ideas aren't going to work. But that's okay, because maybe the best solution is the simplest one: recycling. It may sound boring compared to launching rockets or volcanoes, but recycling really does work. If everyone committed to recycling, we'd see less pollution, cleaner oceans, and more sustainable natural resources. And thanks to companies like Caseify, even phone cases can be part of the solution. So, instead of looking for far-fetched ways to deal with our trash, we can all do our part by recycling, and that might just make a world of difference. Now that we've explored all these wacky ideas, what's next for us to tackle? Well, that's a story for another what-if adventure.